What if I told you that some people are not here by chance? That there are individuals chosen for divine missions with special gifts and a unique connection to something greater? Maybe you've felt it inside you, that feeling that your life has a deeper purpose, that you see the world differently, and that your journey is unlike anyone else's. But the truth is, not every chosen one knows they are one. Many go their entire lives ignoring the signs, suppressing their abilities and fitting into a system that was never meant for them. So I ask you, are you living the mission you were called for? Or are you asleep waiting for the right moment to awaken? Today, we're going to reveal the 8 types of chosen ones and their divine missions. Are you a prophet, a warrior, a seeker, or a healer? Or maybe your soul holds the strength of a rebel or the depth of a hermit. Stay with me until the end, because this video might be the missing piece that helps you understand who you truly are. Now tell me in the comments, have you ever had an experience that made you feel like your life has a special purpose? Something you couldn't explain, but that felt like a sign from the universe. I want to hear your story. Since the dawn of humanity, there has been a belief that certain individuals are set apart to fulfill a greater purpose. The chosen ones are not just characters from myths or legends, but real people who carry within them a divine mission, something that pushes them beyond the ordinary. They possess gifts, heightened perceptions, or an inner calling they cannot ignore. This calling can manifest in many ways: an extraordinary talent, an unexplainable intuition, or even constant challenges that shape their path. What sets a chosen one apart from an ordinary person is not just their ability, but the responsibility that comes with it. Imagine someone who has always seen patterns where others see only chaos, or who feels an uncontrollable need to guide, heal, or transform. These people do not choose their paths by chance. It's as if something greater is guiding them, testing them, and preparing them for a special destiny. They face difficulties that shape their character and develop the strength needed to fulfill their mission. Culturally, the chosen ones appear in various spiritual and religious traditions. In the Bible, there are prophets and leaders who received divine messages. In shamanic traditions, there are healers and spiritual guides. In modern narratives, we see protagonists destined for great deeds. The concept remains alive because it resonates with the human desire for purpose and meaning. No matter the time or culture, there are always those who are called to a role that transcends the ordinary. But being chosen does not mean living an easy life. Many face isolation, doubts, and constant challenges. The path is rarely smooth because great missions demand great growth. But those who embrace their journey discover something valuable, a deep sense of fulfillment and connection to something greater. And within this vast universe of chosen ones, there are different types, each with its own mission and purpose. Among them, the prophet stands out as one of the most enigmatic. The idea of the chosen ones transcends borders and eras, appearing in different cultures around the world. In each society, these figures take on essential roles, often seen as guides, spiritual leaders, or agents of transformation. In ancient Egypt, pharaohs were considered chosen by the gods to rule. Among Native Americans, shamans took on the role of mediators between the spiritual and physical worlds. In modern narratives, fictional heroes follow similar archetypes, reflecting humanity's need to believe in higher forces and deep purposes. These chosen ones do not emerge by chance. Their stories often involve trials, moments of epiphany, and a greater calling that sets them apart from the crowd. The Buddha abandoned his life as a prince to seek enlightenment. Moses received his mission through the burning bush, and even contemporary figures like Martin Luther King Jr. or Gandhi displayed characteristics of a chosen one, guided by an ideal that seemed greater than themselves. History shows that these individuals play crucial roles in humanity's evolution, breaking paradigms and leading significant changes. What's most fascinating is that these archetypes continue to resonate in our society. Movies, books, and religions perpetuate the idea that some are called for something grand. Harry Potter discovers his destiny as the chosen one. Neo in The Matrix realizes he has a crucial role in humanity's liberation, and many others follow this journey of self-discovery and sacrifice. The message behind it is clear. The mission of a chosen one is not about status or power, but about responsibility, growth, and impact. But if history has taught us anything, it's that these individuals never have an easy path. There are challenges, doubts, and even resistance from society. Being chosen means carrying a burden that not everyone could bear, and that is precisely what defines their greatness. Among these roles, one stands out as the direct bridge between the divine and humanity. The prophet, a being who not only receives messages, but must carry them and deliver them, facing unimaginable adversities. The prophet is the one who hears the divine call and accepts the mission of transmitting messages to humanity. He does not speak for himself, but acts as a channel between heaven and earth, carrying revelations that can transform the fate of entire civilizations. Since ancient times, these figures have emerged in various cultures. Moses received the Ten Commandments, Muhammad brought the Quran, and even modern figures like Allan Kardec channeled spiritual knowledge. Being a prophet is not a privilege, but a burden. Their words challenge systems, break established beliefs, and often lead to persecution. The prophet's journey is rarely peaceful. Their visions and messages often go against what people want to hear, making them targets of distrust and resistance. Jeremiah in the Bible was ridiculed for his prophecies. Socrates, whom many consider a prophet of thought, was sentenced to death for challenging the established order. However, it is precisely this opposition that strengthens their mission. The prophet does not seek acceptance but truth. He understands that his role is not to please, but to awaken dormant consciousness. Curiously, the essence of the prophet still exists today, even outside the religious context. Great thinkers, scientists, and activists can embody traits of this archetype, bringing revolutionary ideas that challenge the world. Think of Nikola Tesla, who envisioned advancements no one could understand, or Martin Luther King Jr., whose vision of equality echoed like a social prophecy. These figures carry a sense of destiny, something that transcends logic and resonates in the hearts of those ready to listen. But there's a crucial detail. The prophet doesn't just receive messages. He must share them, even knowing he will be rejected. His mission is not just about words, but about actions that inspire and transform. However, not all chosen ones are direct messengers. Some seek isolation to find the truth within themselves. This is the path of the hermit, the one who abandons the external world to dive into inner wisdom. Unlike the prophet who carries messages to the world, the hermit seeks truth in silence and solitude. He withdraws from society not out of arrogance or misanthropy, but because he understands that some answers can only be found through introspection. Buddhist monks, desert sages, and even figures like Leonardo da Vinci spent long periods in isolation, immersed in reflection, before sharing their vision with the world. The hermit knows that external noise obscures the voice of wisdom, so he retreats, whether physically, by distancing himself from society, or mentally, by immersing himself in deep studies and meditation. However, it would be a mistake to think that he merely hides away. His solitude serves a clear purpose: to understand mysteries that escape common perception. Many of humanity's greatest discoveries have emerged from this process. Nikola Tesla, for example, spent hours in complete introspection before having groundbreaking insights about electricity and energy. The hermit allows himself to explore the unknown without haste, because he knows that true knowledge does not come from rushing, but from patience. He understands that the greatest battle is not against the world, but against his own illusions and limitations. But the hermit's journey is not without challenges. Solitude can be both a gift and a curse, and many who follow this path face moments of doubt and existential crisis. However, those who persist reap the rewards of wisdom. Their discoveries, once refined, become keys that unlock doors for others. It's no coincidence that in mythology, the old sage atop the mountain is always sought out by those in search of answers. He does not impose his truth, but offers a glimpse of it to those who are ready. And when the hermit returns to the world, he brings with him a different perspective, a level of understanding that few possess. His mission is not just to learn, but to guide those who seek. However, there is another type of chosen one whose mission is more focused on directly caring for others, the healer. While the hermit discovers truths in silence, the healer finds purpose in relieving pain and restoring harmony. The healer is the one who carries the gift of restoration. His mission is to alleviate suffering, whether physical, emotional, or spiritual. Since ancient times, these figures have played fundamental roles in society. Shamans, doctors, therapists, and spiritual guides are just a few manifestations of this archetype. But the healer is not just someone who treats wounds. He deeply understands pain, often because he has experienced it in his own journey. His calling does not come from mere choice, but from an almost instinctive need to help. The true power of the healer lies not only in his techniques, but in his energy. He heals not just with his hands, but with his presence, words, and empathy. Think of figures like Florence Nightingale, the mother of modern nursing, or Chico Xavier, who used his gift to alleviate the suffering of thousands. These individuals understand that healing goes beyond the physical. Sometimes, simply listening attentively can be more powerful than any medicine. Their comforting gaze, gentle touch, and silent understanding make people feel they are not alone. But the healer's path is not easy. He constantly deals with the pain of others, and if not careful, can carry burdens that are not his own. Many healers face emotional exhaustion because they feel the need to save everyone, forgetting about themselves. This is one of the greatest challenges of this archetype, learning to give without losing themselves in the process. After all, to keep helping, they must remain whole. The true healer understands that his mission is not to remove pain from the world, but to teach people how to cope with it and find their own strength. And that strength often comes from emotional support and connection with someone who truly understands what we feel. This is where another type of chosen one comes in, the empathic soul. While the healer works directly in restoration, the empathic soul has the gift of deeply feeling and guiding others through emotional understanding. The empathic soul is someone who experiences the world in a unique and profound way. While most people perceive only words and actions, the empath sees beyond. He feels emotions, picks up on energies, and understands pains that are often left unspoken. His gift does not come merely from observation, but from a genuine connection with others. It's as if he has an internal compass that guides him directly to the hearts of people. However, this gift can be both a blessing and a challenge, as absorbing so many emotions can be exhausting. Empathy is an invisible but incredibly transformative power. Often, a simple look or gesture from the empathic soul can bring comfort and security. Great spiritual leaders like Mother Teresa and even artists like Robin Williams demonstrated this sensitivity in their journeys. They had the ability to understand others' pain and in some way ease their burden. Whether through art, words, or touch, the empathic soul does not just listen. He feels and transforms. But there is a price to pay for such heightened sensitivity. The empathic soul can lose himself in the suffering of others, carrying pains that do not belong to him. Many empaths struggle with emotional exhaustion because they do not know how to set boundaries between what is theirs and what belongs to others. The great lesson for this chosen one is learning to balance his gift, offering support without drowning in the pain of others. It is essential for him to cultivate moments of solitude and practices of energetic protection so he can continue his mission without becoming depleted. And when the empath learns to channel their sensitivity in the right way, they become a light for those around them. Their mission is not just to feel, but to guide and lead. However, not all chosen ones connect with the world through emotion. Some find their purpose in the power of perseverance, in unshakable resilience in the face of challenges. This is the path of the perseverant, the one who inspires through example and never allows themselves to be defeated. The perseverant is the one who turns challenges into fuel for growth. Unlike other chosen ones who receive messages or intuitive gifts, their mission is to prove, day after day, that resilience can overcome any obstacle. They do not give up, no matter the adversity, and their journey becomes a living example of strength and determination. Many of history's greatest figures bear this mark. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before inventing the light bulb. Oprah Winfrey endured a difficult childhood before becoming a media icon, and countless others had to rise, countless times before reaching their purpose. The secret of the perseverant is not the absence of difficulties, but how they handle them. While many see failure as a barrier, they see it as a stepping stone. Their mind does not dwell on what went wrong, but on what can still go right. This type of chosen one carries a quiet strength that inspires those around them, as their resilience not only propels them forward, but also motivates others to never give up on their own paths. However, this journey has its dangers. The perseverant can become so accustomed to fighting that they forget to celebrate their victories. They may overburden themselves, believing they must carry the world on their shoulders, without realizing that extreme endurance can also lead to exhaustion. Learning to pause, reflect, and recognize their achievements is part of their mission. After all, perseverance is not just about continuing to move forward. It is also about knowing when to stop, recover, and move ahead with even more wisdom. And sometimes, the power to challenge the impossible manifests in an even more explosive way, through rebellion. While the perseverant strengthens themselves by overcoming challenges, the rebel questions the very rules of the game. They do not just face obstacles, they break them down to open new paths. The rebel is the one who challenges the system, questions norms, and refuses to accept unjust impositions. Their mission is to break free from oppressive structures and pave the way for a new reality. They do not fear opposition. On the contrary, resistance only makes them stronger. Throughout history, this archetype has been essential for social and cultural change. Jesus challenged religious dogmas. Che Guevara fought against political oppression, and figures like Malala Yousafzai confronted traditions to secure rights. The rebel does not seek conflict for the sake of conflict, but for transformation. The great strength of this chosen one lies in their courage to say what many remain silent about. They do not conform to the idea that it has always been this way, and understand that great change requires sacrifice. Often they feel isolated, misunderstood, and even persecuted. Society tends to reject those who challenge its foundations. But ironically, these very individuals shape the future. The rebel understands that every advancement is born from dissatisfaction with the present, and so they embrace their role, even when the journey becomes lonely. However, this path also has its risks. Rebellion without purpose can become destructive, and a rebel without a cause may end up lost in their own fury. Questioning is essential, but knowing where to direct that defiance is even more important. History is full of revolutionaries who changed the world, but also of those who lost themselves in chaos. A true rebel does not fight just against something. They fight for something. Their rebellion is guided by a higher purpose that inspires and strengthens those around them. And When this energy is channeled into protecting and defending the innocent, a new archetype is born, the warrior. While the rebel fights to change the world, the warrior fights to protect it. Their mission is not to destroy systems, but to ensure that justice prevails. The warrior is the one who protects, defends, and fights for what they believe is right. They do not seek conflict out of vanity or pride, but out of an unshakable sense of duty. Their mission is to ensure that the innocent are safe, that truth is preserved, and that balance is not destroyed by chaos. From legendary samurai to modern soldiers, the warrior has existed in every culture, taking on many forms: a soldier on the battlefield, an activist in the streets, or even a lawyer fighting for justice. They do not fear pain or sacrifice because they know that their strength is not just physical but also moral. What sets a true warrior apart from a mere fighter is their code of honor. They do not fight for revenge or destruction, but to protect what they love. In mythology, figures like Achilles and King Arthur embody this archetype, while in real life, figures like Nelson Mandela show that a warrior does not always wield weapons. Sometimes their greatest strength lies in peaceful resistance. The true battle of the warrior is not only external but also internal, controlling their impulses, acting with wisdom, and understanding that the true victory is not in the destruction of the enemy, but in the preservation of what is right. However, being a warrior comes with its challenges. They may become too rigid, seeing the world only in terms of conflict and resistance, forgetting that not all battles need to be won through force. Their greatest lesson is knowing when to fight and when to step back, because the balance between action and strategy defines their greatness. A warrior who only knows how to fight becomes blind to other paths of resolution, while one who understands their mission becomes a true guardian of justice. But while the warrior fights to protect, there are those who seek something even deeper: knowledge. If the warrior defends the truth, the seeker is the one who tirelessly searches for it, traveling across the world and within their own mind to uncover the deepest mysteries of existence. The seeker is the one who is never satisfied with superficial answers. They have an insatiable thirst for knowledge and are always exploring new ideas, cultures, and philosophies. Their mission is to unravel mysteries, connect invisible dots, and discover truths that most people ignore. Unlike the warrior, who fights to protect what is already known, the seeker challenges the unknown, crossing physical and intellectual boundaries to expand their understanding of the world. They may be a philosopher, a traveler, a scientist, or a spiritualist, but regardless of the path they choose, they never stop learning. History is filled with seekers who changed the course of humanity. Socrates constantly questioned everything to reach the truth. Leonardo da Vinci explored all areas of knowledge, and Carl Sagan sought to understand the mysteries of the universe. The seeker understands that an answer is never the end, but the beginning of a new question. Their journey is not just intellectual, it is also spiritual and emotional. They do not simply want to know, they want to feel and experience each discovery. However, this relentless pursuit comes at a cost. The seeker may feel out of place, misunderstood, and even frustrated by those who do not share their hunger for knowledge. Some become eternal wanderers, always chasing the next discovery without ever appreciating what they have already found. Their greatest challenge is balancing the journey with the understanding that learning is not just in the destination, but in the path itself. The wisest seeker is not the one who knows everything, but the one who understands that there is always more to learn. And at the end of this journey, a fundamental realization emerges. No chosen one is defined by just one archetype. Often, the traits of the prophet, the warrior, the seeker, and others blend within a single person. Each mission is unique, and embracing this individuality is what makes the journey of the chosen one even more powerful. No chosen one fits into a single mold. While some have dominant traits from one archetype, the truth is that most carry aspects of several at once. A prophet may have the spirit of a seeker, a warrior may be guided by empathy, and a rebel may, deep down, be a great healer. Each individual's journey is unique, and it is this combination of traits that makes every mission special. There is no fixed path, as each chosen one shapes their own trajectory as they evolve and discover new aspects of themselves. Many people spend their lives trying to fit into labels, not realizing that true strength lies in authenticity. The chosen one does not need to limit themselves to a single role. They can be both a leader and a student, a fighter and a sage, a guide and a seeker at the same time. Great historical figures have shown us this. Gandhi was both a rebel and a healer. Da Vinci was both a seeker and a hermit, and many others learned to navigate between the different callings that life presented them. The secret is not in choosing a single path, but in embracing the complexity of one's own essence. However, this discovery does not happen overnight. It takes courage to know oneself deeply and to accept that evolution is constant. What may seem like a definitive mission today may, in the future, give way to a new perspective. The true chosen one is not bound by unchanging certainties, but allows themselves to grow, adapt, and expand their vision of the world. This flexibility is what makes them powerful, because they understand that their purpose can manifest in different ways throughout life. And in the end, the great revelation is that everyone in some way carries a calling within them. Some feel it early on, while others awaken to their mission later in life. But the truth is that everyone has something unique to offer the world. The question is not whether someone is a chosen one, but when they will have the courage to accept their mission. Because, in the end, life is always calling us. It is up to each person to decide whether they are ready to listen. If there's one thing we've learned today, it's that no one is here by chance. Each of us carries a calling within, a mission that can transform not just our own lives, but also the world around us. The big question is, are you ready to accept this calling? Or will you continue to ignore the signs that life is giving you? Truth is that being a chosen one does not mean having an easy life. It means having the courage to embrace who you truly are, to face challenges, and to use your gifts for something greater. Maybe you have already felt this force within you. Maybe you have realized that you do not fit into common patterns, and that is not a mistake. It is a sign that your journey is unique. Now I want to know, which of the 8 types of chosen ones do you identify with the most? Prophet, warrior, seeker, or a mix of several? Comment below, because I want to read your story. And if this video made you see something new about yourself, leave a like and share it with someone who needs to hear this. And of course, if you want to keep exploring topics like this, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, because there's much more coming soon. See you in the next video.